We're ready. How are you today? It's nice to meet you.
I'm great. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you so much for taking this time here. And I guess we'll just jump right into it.
Okay.
So, if you could tell me a little bit more about how these books are selected and like what the criteria is, that would be awesome.
Okay. Well, I'm part of a team. I'm part of a team of editors at Amazon. And basically, we read books. We read them about 6 to 9 months before they're published. So we have no sales or anything to go on. We go strictly by what we love. And we talk about these books together and we try and get one another to read the books that we loved, kind of like sanity check. Am I right about this one? And then twice a year, once in June, once in November, we get together and we figure out which books did we love the most. And that's how we come up with the list.
Awesome. So then, Hello Beautiful being number one just came out of like one of those discussions. Everybody loved it.
Yes. Al
Awesome.
loved it first, and she just raved about it so much that everybody on the team wanted to check it out. And we knew that most of us had loved Napolitano's one of her previous books called Dear Edward. So there
Mhm.
was a lot of excitement about this new book. And when Al confirmed that it was hitting it out of the park, then we were all lining up to read it.
You're like, I have to read this.
Yeah, exactly.
So, do the initial books, do those come from your personal picks? I know you said it's not ones that have like reviews yet. So, is it just like everybody on the team, whatever they is capturing their attention right then?
Yeah, our team has over 100 years combined experience in publishing. And so we know, about track on books. We hear about, debut authors. I'm always going online and looking for new books, see if there's anything that I need to check out. And we all do that. And so that's how we come up with the books. And then, like I say, with an author like Napolitano, we already were fans. And so it was a no-brainer that we all had to read her new one. But as I say, when Al was the first in and said it's amazing, then yeah, we all dived in pretty quick.
You knew. You're like, this has to be good.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Yeah.
which of these top 20 books would you recommend for somebody who's like maybe just getting into reading or isn't totally sure what they like, that sort of thing?
Honestly, the Napolitano is a great place to start because it's a beautiful story about family. Anybody who has siblings, I'm the eldest of three girls, will relate to the four girls in this story. If you're a fan of Little Women, which so many people are, the book is basically a new spin on Little Women. And so it's a story for women, for siblings, for people who like family stories. But there's also some great male characters in it and some great male storylines. One involving, mental health and the importance of male friendships. And so it's a really thoughtful and at the same time really emotional, really fun read. And I think somebody who hasn't read for a while and is wondering, they don't want to read, they don't want to waste their time reading something they're not going to love. I think there's a really high chance that they will love Hello Beautiful.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What would be your top picks for a beach day or a rainy day? Can be two different, the same, whatever you think.
I think Emily Henry is a great beach read. Emily Henry is one of those authors that she's only about 3 or 4 books in, and yet she writes the kind of light confections that also have a real through line of emotionality and just relatability. And she's a great beach read. She's actually known in parts as kind of the new queen of the beach read. But another reigning queen of the beach read, the new Ellen Hildebrand, is also a great beach day book or a great rainy day book. Honestly, you couldn't go wrong with either of those.
And so I know that as the year progresses, like you said, you'll meet again in November to discuss these. So when can we expect an updated list? Will it include books from this list? How does that sort of work?
Sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes by the time we're reviewing the year, I mean, when you do the best books of the year so far in the summer, it necessarily has kind of like a beach read aspect to it. That's when it's coming out. We want these books to be good summer reads for people. When you're looking over the entire year, however, it can take on a little bit more serious tone, or favorites can survive from best of the year so far to best of the year, and others, we may find some amazing books in the next 6 months, and those will, jockey out other titles. It's always about what this team loves and what when you read a book where you just can't wait to discuss it with other people,
Mhm.
that's kind of the bar for us for getting a book onto the list. So September and October are usually big for new book releases. So there's some exciting stuff coming up. So it'll be really interesting to see how the best of the year list shakes out.
Yeah, definitely. And can you talk a little bit more about how this got started? Like, was it you guys who started this group, this idea, or did it come before you?
It came well before me. I joined the team about 3 years ago, but this list has been going on for many years now. And it is definitely one of those things that we love doing and our customers love it. And yeah, it's a great fun. For book lovers, there's nothing better than coming up with a list of books that you want other people to read. That's just joy.
Oh, definitely. I've been scrolling through the list, like, ooh, making my to read list.
And that's just like, the top 20 is fantastic, but we also do books by category. So if you're a mystery lover, there's a list that I compiled of the 20 best mysteries of the year so far. So people should definitely check out amazon.com/best books so far.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, do you, so tell me a little bit about how you yourself got into reading and maybe on this path.
Wow. Well, I'm from Ireland originally,
Mhm.
and my uncle Shorsha, it's Irish for George, had a bookstore in the southwest coast of Ireland, and I spent a summer working there. I come from a really book-loving family. Cut to moving to America, getting a job at Amazon, and then getting a job at publishing, and then going back to Amazon. So I've basically been a reader my entire life. I'm in my entire career. So this is what I love to do.
Awesome.
Doesn't feel like a job actually.
Yeah, that's the best.
Uh-huh.
And as an avid reader, do you have any advice for somebody who considers themselves not a reader or wants to get into it, like whether that's by picking up a book on this list, like you had mentioned before, or just like any general tips, like how would somebody help themselves, I guess?
I think that one of the big things is that people, when they start a book and they're not enjoying it, they tell themselves that they must finish it. So I would say, don't be afraid to cast a book aside if it's not working for you, because it'll only make you dislike the reading experience. So don't be afraid to cast books aside. Um, Definitely get recommendations from your friends, from people whose taste has served you well in the past or whose taste you trust. And of course, check out Amazon editors. We're always recommending books every month with our best of the month program and with the best of the year so far program. And so, if you know that you like somebody's taste, definitely ask them for a good book. And then the other thing I think is that for some people, movies can be an entry into books that they love. So think about movies that you really enjoyed, and if they're based on a book, go thinking about checking that out. That can often be a way to have a really pleasant reading experience because you love the movie, so there's a good chance you'll love the book too.
That's really smart. I've always heard it opposite, like read the book before the movie, but that's a great way to get into reading.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, I think for most people, that's kind of how it happens. But I think, as you were saying, if you're actually looking for a book to get into, that can be a really safe way to make the choice.
Hmm. Yeah, that's awesome. And I think this will be our last question, but what are your top three personal books on this list? Whether that's three mentioned or different ones, which ones are you excited about?
Well, I'm the mystery and thriller editor, and so I'm biased towards that category. My favorite was All the Sinners Bleed by S.A. Cosby, who, three novels in, it has just become one of the best mystery and thriller writers in America today. The second one would be Small Mercies. And if you were a fan and who wasn't of Mystic River, you have to check this out. It features just one of the most amazing characters I've read in years, Mary Pat Fennessy. It's a historical novel set in Boston. It takes in a missing person story, racism, revenge. It is just one of those books where I sat down and started reading it, and I barely stopped to eat until it was done. It was so good. And then the third one I would recommend is actually the second in a series. It's called City of Dreams by Don Winslow. And it's basically for fans of, movies and books like, The Godfather, movies like Goodfellas. But he looks at it, does this really clever thing where he spins it through the prism of Greek mythology. So the storyline actually kind of conforms to the storyline of the bits of the Odyssey, bits of the Aeneid. But don't worry if you don't actually have a great grounding in Greek mythology or you can't remember it. It's just such a fun, it's violent, but it's fun, it's emotional, it's just a roller coaster. And another book where as soon as I stopped reading, I just wanted to tell everybody about it and get them to read it too so we could discuss it. So those three just made my year. They were like the easiest top three in my category that I've ever made. It was like as soon as I read these, I knew they were going to be on this list.
I love that. I love when the decisions are easy like that.
Yeah, yeah. But from number 4 to number 20, there's some gems on there too as well. So people really should check out the full list.
Awesome. And is there anything else you wanted to add? Anything you feel particularly passionate about that you want people to know?
Just that, reading is one of those things where I think it helps, apart from the entertainment, it helps with critical thinking skills, with empathy. There's another book on the list, Lady Tan, Circle of Women. I would never have known anything about how Chinese women in 15th century China lived. And reading this book was just so eye-opening. My jaw was dropped, at several points during the book. And so I feel like, if there are people who haven't read for a while or who read one category and never go outside it, this list is full of books that people should take chances on or should just, buy every single one of them and read them because there's some good reading in this list.
I believe it. Well, awesome. Thank you so much, Vanessa. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us, and we will definitely look forward to seeing the rest of this list.
You're so welcome. Thanks for inviting me.
Absolutely. You have a good one.
You too.
Thanks.